Hey Future Millionaires, this is Phil from the Next Chapter team. In this article review, we're going to cover 7 mistakes, 7 things that you want to avoid doing to help you build wealth over the long term. These are 7 habits or 7 things you want to avoid so you can build wealth over the long term and make sure you put yourself in a good position to retire wealthy. That's right, you're going to retire rich after seeing these 7 tips. Before we jump into the review, please take a couple minutes to like, subscribe, and share with some friends. Stay to the end and hope you enjoy the video. The first item that this article calls out is not taking advantage of the employer match. And this is critical. It is important that when you're in the right position financially to invest consistently and in your 401k, try to get to at least the point where you're enjoying the employer match. The article calls out that just around 24% of people out there are actually fully utilizing the employer match. Now, it doesn't account for the people who have financial strain that are not allowing them to actually take advantage of the employer match. But over the course of time, you want to work your budget and work down your debts low enough that you can receive that employer match. That 3-4% can really play into your overall big retirement portfolio. So it is important to work to a point to take advantage of the employer match and keep taking advantage of that employer match for as long as possible, because this adds up over time. In some of our mutual fund review videos, we actually show you that. We show you an example of someone who's just getting 3% or 4% on a modest income. And over the course of 5-10 years, it really plays a big part in that overall 401k balance. The number 2 item that the article calls out is not creating a holistic financial plan. And what does this really mean? It means having a big picture perspective of where you're trying to go. And for those married couples, having a joint picture of where you want to go. How much do you want to have saved for retirement? How do you want to handle big expenses? How do you want to pay for a car when a car breaks down? If you want to cover college plans, college savings, how do you want to fund that college savings? Where do you want to utilize the money from? Are you going to dip into your 401k? Bad idea. Because you're reducing your compounding interest impact within your 401k. Well, it's better to do like a 529 or a Coverdell plan. These are educational savings plans, as an example. And again, back to big purchases, whether it be a car or a home, it's much better to, 1, leave your 401k or IRA to build and snowball into bigger dollars over the course of time. So by not touching the principal, not treating it like a piggy bank, then instead putting that money into high yield savings accounts by utilizing high yield savings accounts and having a holistic plan for yourself or for your life partner to meet your financial goals. By having a holistic plan that you both agree to, you're more likely to stick to it. So having a holistic plan that you are consistently focused on investing, seeing a healthy rate of return, and being patient when the downturn of the market to continue to invest. Because when there's a downturn in the market, you're actually buying investments cheaper than they're going to be in the future. At least that's what you hope. And over the long term, investing. Long-term investing is the best way. That's a lot of times why when we do our ETF reviews and mutual fund reviews, we will show you a 5 and 10 year perspective because we want to paint that picture of doing long-term investing. Okay, the number 3 item, I'm going to say it. Some people are going to get mad. Sorry. But doing an article recap, and there's a good level of truth here, is supporting adult children for too long. And what we're talking about is adult children who are making their own money, and we're not talking about someone who's disabled or going through some hard times, going through a divorce. We're talking about adult children who need some encouragement. We'll call that encouragement to mature and start taking care of themselves financially. And point of fact, this is calling out nearly 45% of Americans or people are supporting their adult children at the detriment of themselves. And so what they're really getting at here is supporting adult children who is capable of working, right? Who's, again, capable of working, instead of putting extra towards retirement. That hurts you over the long term. 5-10 years of not maximizing what you can do in your retirement account, whether it be a 401k or an IRA, for an adult child who is capable, can really hurt you over the long term. And again, we're talking about adult children who are capable. Not that they're facing some life issues or some mental health issues. We're not monsters here. They're talking about capable individuals that need encouragement to start taking care of themselves. So again, this one again is touchy. But again, it's also calling out at the detriment of your saving of your retirement. So again, to highlight this one last time, this is taking care of adult children instead of maximizing your retirement investment. And again, these are adult children who are capable, not going through a hard time, not just ones who have cognitive challenges. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about people who are capable. The number 4 item that the article calls out is succumbing to lifestyle creep. And what that really means is going after the fancier things in life, fancy cars, extra homes, on small amounts of money. So think of it this way. You just got to raise it 15%. That raise of 15%, and you don't have a lot of money saved, it's better suited to, of course, enjoy some of it. I'm not saying don't enjoy any of it, but enjoy some of it. But enjoy maybe 3-4% of that 15% raise, and then save the rest of it. Over time, that's really going to build up to some big dollar amounts. And in certain cases, if you're really aggressive about this, this could help you achieve your retirement dreams of retiring a little earlier. Instead of say 65, 62, instead of say 62, maybe 59 and a half. Why do I say 59 and a half? Because 59 and a half is when you're able to access your 401k and IRAs without having any form of withdrawal penalties. So again, succumbing to lifestyle creep and spending too much extra money on things that are kind of frothy in life, instead of saving more aggressively, can really slow you down in achieving your big, healthy retirement account goals. The number 5 item is underestimating retirement expenses. The article calls out that a single person can expect to spend in 2023 about $157,000 in healthcare expenses throughout their retirement years. A couple can expect to spend around $315,000 throughout their retirement years. Now, it's important to call out that those dollar amounts are probably not going to be fully covered by your Social Security. So it's so important to take the opportunity to save so you can cover these expenses yourself and hopefully not have to depend too much on family members. So again, these big expenses, these healthcare expenses, they are likely to occur, and year after year they grow and grow. So the more you can save to get in front of this, the better. And again, this is all about you wanting to be prepared. That's what this whole article is about, is in reminding people that these things are coming. So by being prepared, you can go into retirement in a very strong, positive position. The number 6 item that the article calls out is having a lot of debts as you enter retirement. And in fact, having so much debt that you are not able to save properly for retirement. That's why it's so important to have a 15, 20, 30-year perspective on, and even more when saving for retirement. You imagine your debts along the way, you're reducing them and keeping them a small amount, and most of all, keeping yourself in a position to save. So it's not saying don't pay off your debts, because it says pay off your debts before saving for retirement. What they're saying is having so much debt that you can't save for retirement, or paying off all your debts, even like a big old hunkin' mortgage, instead of retaining for retirement. Where in fact it's probably a better play to pay off all your consumer debts, and then from there, while you're working on your mortgage, be saving for retirement as well. Because doing the balance of the two together aggressively on a good plan, with a good spending plan, can help you achieve a lot of traction over the course of time. You'd be surprised what 10, 15, 20% of your income, when you get to that position, saved over the compounding interest of compounding of 10, 20, 30 years, can really build up to a big, healthy dollar amount. So again, managing those debts, reducing them to the point where you can save as much as you want and live some life in the balance, will really help you achieve the goal of having a big, healthy retirement. The 7th and final item that the article calls out as a big challenge is when people or individuals move their money out of the market during a downturn. It's really important to have a long-term horizon when it comes to retirement and investing for it. Some good rules of thumbs are basically keep investing even during downturns. Move your money out that you need for the next year or two if you're entering retirement in a consistent fashion that you can stomach seeing some of the losses. And the best way to get a good handle of how much you need per year is really working with a financial planning advisor. I can't sugarcoat it. Unless you've really been doing this for a very long time, this is the area where a retirement advisor or a certified financial planner can really help you make the right decisions. But over the long term, keeping money in the market, riding through the waves of ups and downs can really help you build up a good, healthy fund. let's go into 2008 for a second. Okay, now let's stick with 2008. So let's talk about this. So there was a huge correction in 2008. And if you didn't need their money for 15, 20 years, or even just 10 years, your balance would have more than doubled. First, it would have recovered, and then it would have went further, even higher. So again, time in the market, having an emergency fund, planning for the big purchases. These things will help you not make shaky moves during a downturn. And then when you are going to need to make a move, work with the right professionals to help you make the right move. So again, dollar cost averaging, having some money in a well-diverse retirement account will allow you to absorb some of the hits during a downturn, because it's going to happen. Economy works in cycles. It's just while things are becoming more electronic and more efficient, the cycles sometimes happen even faster. So you really can't time it completely. There are lots of things that you could watch and learn to do to really get comfortable with this process. And that's why being patient, dollar cost averaging will help you build wealth over the long term. Hope you enjoyed the video. 7 great points of items that you should and actions you should avoid doing to not destroy your financial dreams of retiring wealthy. So now just a quick recap. 7 mistakes that you want to avoid making so you can make sure you retire wealthy. First and foremost, not taking advantage of that employer match. That employer match is some free money that helps you get nice returns over a long period of time. Because remember, when you're taking advantage of the employer match in your 401k plan, in essence, the dollars you contribute grow, and the dollars that the employer contributes on your behalf grows. That match also grows. It's not like that match goes into a money market account that's only making 2, 3, 4% per year. In fact, that employer match will go into the same exact funds that you decide you want it to go into in your 401k. And if those funds perform well, so does your employer match. Again, the number 2 item is not creating a holistic financial plan. That holistic financial plan is going to help you map out how you want to handle 401k, IRAs, if you want to save for kids' retirement, kids' schooling, so in a 529 plan, and also how you're going to handle big purchases. That holistic plan that you work for yourself and for your spouse, if you're married, and your children and your family, having that holistic plan that you stick to and you've refined over time. You're not going to get it in one shot, but you refine it over time and you fine tune as life factors change. Having a roadmap will help you build retirement over the long run. Why? Because you're going to stick to doing things consistently. The number 3 item that the article calls out is supporting adult children. And again, what they're talking about here is supporting able-bodied children who are working, supporting them in ways that are stopping you from retiring. So again, let's call this out, being very clear here. Instead of maximizing your retirement, you are supporting an able-bodied adult child. We're not talking about someone who's first year of college. We're talking about someone who's out of college, done with whatever higher programs that they need to do. They're working, and you're supporting them instead of saving for your own retirement. That's what this article is calling out. I know this is a very sensitive one, so I'm not going to go much further. 4th item, succumbing to too much lifestyle creep. And again, this calls out, instead of utilizing raises and freed up cash from paying off debts to save more and still enjoy life so much, you're just doing nothing but enjoying it. And you're not meeting your savings target. That's why it's so important to have a holistic plan, know where you want to go, and take the steps towards achieving those goals. And succumbing to lifestyle creep, buying cars every 2-3 years, always financing them, are definitely going to slow you down to achieving your wealthy retirement. Number 5, again, underestimating retirement expenses. And the article calls out a big, clear and present one. Healthcare expenses for retirees, single person over 65, and $2023, $157,000 over the course of retirement. For couples, $315,000 for a course of retirement. That's why it's so important to have a good understanding and good amount of saved so you can prepare to handle these expenses, or else you're going to be begging your children if you have any. The number 6 item that the article calls out, again, this is paying off debts before saving for retirement. And what they're talking about here is paying off, being so indebted that you have no money to save for retirement. You've got to find that balance. You've got to really fine tune your spending plan pay off debts, get yourself to a good position to both be saving and paying off debts, especially if we're down to the big debts of like a mortgage or some other big loan that you're connected to. So sometimes small business owners will have really big loans. And, depending on each scenario, they may have to sit there and say, I'm going to take some time to pay off this loan. But conversely, while I'm paying off the loan, I'm going to also be saving for retirement. Doing that combo is the good 1-2 punch to help you build wealth over the long term. That's what this article is really about. It's about setting you up and calling out the mistakes that you can make that will slow you down from building wealth and getting ready for retirement. The seventh and final one that the article calls out is moving to a complete money position, moving it all out of the market during a downturn. This is a really bad idea because first off, yes, it stinks that you saw your balance go down, but when you move it to cash, you're actually realizing that loss. Okay. First. Second, as long as you have the runway for it to come back, you're better off letting it stay in there. Again, I called out that example of 2008, people who moved it all out and did not put it back into a nice equity position. They lost out on great returns over the course of 10 and 15 years. So again, this is about long-term being in the market for a long period of time. And so you only want to move out what you need during a downturn. You don't want to move it all out. You may want to switch up positions, right? You want to maybe move from one small cap fund to a different small cap fund, or one large cap to a different large cap, or whatever it may be, whatever's the best mix for you. Again, we call out, it's important when you're doing big moves of an account of this nature, of 401k or IRA, try to get some financial advice. But most of all, if you don't need the money, do not move it out to cash. Do not move it out to a cash position when it can be invested, because those investments can really come back over time. Again, I called out that over a 15-year span after 2008, there was like 20 days that if you missed it, you missed out on a huge amount of returns. Hey, thanks for staying to the end. This video is brought to you by the Next Chapter team. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a comment. Please also like, subscribe, and share for your friends and family. This will help the channel reach out to more people just like you. We offer one-on-one coaching where we work with everyday people to determine a clear path to achieving their financial goals. This includes things like budgeting to reduce debts, planning for big purchases, and even learning how to build wealth with the tools that you have readily available to you. If you're interested, please see our link below to schedule a free call with our team. That's right, it's a free 30-minute call with the team. Also, check out our affiliate links for High Yield Savings Account. This is a great place for the saving up for those big purchases and your emergency fund. Thanks, and see you in the next video.